next speaker helped us get the room for one thing. But more importantly, Representative Sandra Williams could not be with us today, but she ably and excitedly gave us one of the great leaders of the City of Columbus, State Representative Tracy Burgess.
Thank you all for being here, and thank you all for all of your support in this process that we've gone through what has been definitely a whirlwind. It has been frustrating on one hand and encouraging on the other. The frustration was what happened within the walls of this House. As a legislator, it was most definitely a partisan process for me. And the frustration was being locked out of it and not being able to advise the process based on what the people not just in my own constituency were saying, but all around the state. The part that was encouraging was when the people stood up and said, this is unacceptable. One of the most exciting things that's happened in this entire General Assembly, it has been really difficult to be a Democrat, but it has been phenomenal to watch the resurgence of grassroots movements, grassroots coalitions coming together to work for a common cause, and the people once again finding their voice and their responsibility in the things that happen in the state of Ohio. I am proud to represent the Ohio Legislative Black Caucus. I am proud to represent the Ohio Democratic House Caucus, and I am certainly proud to stand amongst all of the citizens in the state of Ohio who have stood up and spoken for themselves.
Our next speaker is a Toledo native and a good friend who has made herself not just a major leader in Ohio's labor movement, but in the national labor movement. Ohio AFL-CIO Secretary-Treasurer Petey Talley.
Yes. Good afternoon, and I too want to thank everyone for being here this afternoon. I would like to say that one of the first official acts of this legislature and this administration was the dismantling of worker rights with the passage of Senate Bill 5. And sadly, the attack on Ohioans' rights continued with the passage of House Bill 194, this voter suppression bill that makes it hard to vote and harder for those votes to count. The labor movement in Ohio is proud to have been a part of the hundreds of volunteers who fanned out across this state and to join with many of the organizations who are represented in this room who collected 318,460 signatures to repeal House Bill 194. And I want to acknowledge many of my colleagues in the labor movement who are here this morning who took time out of the battle that we are fighting to repeal Senate Bill 5 to make sure that we were joining our voice with others in Ohio whose rights were under attack. We could not stand idly by and let this attack on voters go unanswered. And so we will be here making sure that we get this issue on the ballot and defeating this issue in 2012. Thank you.
Now, obviously, we've had a lot of great leaders here, but we've had a lot of great volunteers, and we can't have them possibly all be here today. But I think we all felt that it was important that we brought a couple of our volunteers to talk to you today. And our first volunteer up is from Columbus, Ohio. Her name is Imogen Brody. Did I do it right?
Long I, Imogen. Thanks for introducing me, and it's a privilege for me to be here. And I want to thank everybody who signed my petition, and those of you who refused to because you thought I was kidding. This is legal. So I will be back. I mean, this is absolutely necessary. And we just can't, my heart hurts when I think that people are trying to suppress the vote in this country. And to close things out, to close it so the working class people can't vote like they did on Saturday and Sunday. So we don't want to do that. And seniors, I will be back, and I am legitimate, so please sign my petition.
our last speaker, before we take questions, I do have to let you know, for those of you who are going to the drop site at 2 p.m., believe it or not, for security reasons, they have told us you can take pictures of the boxes, but not of the building. At the auditorium. Now, many of you know if I had a camera, I would probably be daring them, but that's up to you. So I'm doing my due diligence, and they've been cooperative with me in the Secretary of State's office. This is the actual building authority, but please be aware of that in case you get confiscated. Our final speaker before questions today is a recent college graduate. He is 25 years old, and he is from Toledo, Ohio, and he is one of a legion of young people who have been helping us do this, and his name is Alex Beelan.
I want to thank everybody for letting me represent my community, and I just want to say that this was very important to me as a college student. I went to school out of state, and I absentee voted, and you know these changes in absentee voting would be just terrible for other college students that have a similar experience. And yeah, let's make sure that this we keep going strong on this, and keep the early vote alive, and give everybody the voting rights they deserve. And that's all I have to say.